Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. So, before we begin, just a gentle reminder, if you have not renamed yourself, please add your name. Add your region initial. So, for our case, it's HQ and your group number before your name. So, you can see on the screen right now. So, we do have three groups, HQ 1, 2, and 3. So, make sure to rename yourself accordingly because this will help our AV team to place you in the correct breakout rooms later on. And I really appreciate everyone's cooperation. So if you haven't gotten a chance, please make sure to do it now. So just another quick recap. Throughout this 8-month journey, we'll be studying the Path to Awakening, teachings in the adapted verses of the 37 practices to enlightenment. So we'll be using two books. You could have both English and Chinese versions. If you haven't gotten the chance to get a copy of the book, we do have it pasted right now in the chat. So feel free to access it there or purchase it there. But if you do have it, please make sure to have it handy as well. So, and as each month's theme will actually follow the book structure. So together we will explore these teachings step by step. So once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the family. I'm happy to see you guys back in the cloud again for our The Power of Mindfulness study group. So once again, my name is Sophia. I'm a newly CT volunteer here in the HQ region in the Midwest Los Angeles chapter, and I'm glad to be back again and see everyone and see a wonderful many familiar faces. So I'll serve as your MC throughout this next following months. So today we resume our journey to the path of awakening. And it's almost been a year since Master Tayan actually has supported us this Heart Lotus Interfaith pilot program. And we would want to thank everyone's sincerity and intention once again for all these teamwork. We know nothing is perfect, but we are here present and we constantly grow. So make sure to send us those feedback that you have at the end of the session. And once again, thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your busy Monday and busy month after your work. And your presence truly brings a lot of warmth and meaning to this space. And together, through listening, reflecting, and through a very mindful dialogue, we hope to deepen our understanding of how mindfulness can guide and transform our daily lives. So, before we begin our study, let us settle our bodies and minds. Make sure you're sitting comfortably upright. And if you're able to, let's join our palms together in a hezang. Please make sure to turn off your mic as in the spirit, as we're going to be reciting the 32 characters chanting. So, in the spirit of the 37 practices, let us view this moment as a training of and grounding of our minds and release any distractions from your day. Feel free to put your feet on the floor, breathe, becoming more steady and gentle. And as Master Chenyan reminds us that stillness leads to wisdom. And as we prepare to chant, imagine your mind as clear and still like the pool of water. And we aren't just reciting the text that you'll see in the next slide, but we are actually planting seeds of the infinite meanings in infinite meanings rather into our hearts, but also our minds, so that our study today can benefit all living and sentient beings as well. So let us now merge our voices and our intentions as we chant. So feel free to recite every word that resonate within you. And so we'll begin first in Chinese, then I'll followed by the English. So I'll take the lead. So make sure you guys are muted. Okay, so 经济倾城，知轩虚墨，手执不动，以拜田解无量法门，悉现在前，得大智慧，通达诸法。So may our minds remain tranquil and clear, our vows be vast as the universe. May we remain unwavering for countless eons. May infinite Dharma doors readily appear in front of us. May we attain great wisdom and completely understand all Dharma. In addition, let us also settle our minds and welcome gratitude in our hearts through 3 bows of respect. So, if bowing is not something you are comfortable with or able to do right now, we welcome you to express respect in a way that resonates with you. So, with that, I would like to invite everyone to please stand up and let us place our palms together to center ourselves. With respect, appreciation, and love, let us make 3 bows to the great enlightened one of the universe, who represents the teacher within every one of us. First bow, second bow, and third bow. Please be seated. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this moment of togetherness and chanting so mindfully. So let us carry this calm and clarity forward. And we'll also open up today's program at Study Group with the power of mindfulness through the path to awakening. So here's an overview of today's schedule. We just went over some of the housekeeping items, as well as the Sutra of Infinite Meanings for the 32 characters chanting. We will begin our exploration and dive into the teachings through a sharing from Abode Master Te Chao on the fourfold mindfulness in the 37 practices to enlightenment. So this is actually chapter 1 of the book. And afterwards, we will break into our smaller breakout rooms for discussion and return to a bigger main room for a bigger group discussion. So friendly reminder, once you're in your group and you're smaller, make sure to have one representative talked out for our bigger group discussion. So feel free to interact, summarize what you guys think are helpful for the bigger discussion. And lastly, we will end the session with some reminders and our dedication to merit. So sit back, relax. Without further ado, we'll now listen to the teachings from Abode Master Te Chao. And please make sure to enjoy the video with a focused and open heart as we listen and gently reflect on how these teachings relate to your own life and practice and how we could practice the fourfold mindfulness.
敬爱的上人，还有各位菩萨，大家好。今天我们要来分享的是37道品讲述的四念处。而我们在进入四念处之前呢，我们先来了解上人说，生命大自然的法则跟三理四象是非常的相关。而三理四象啊，就是物理有成住坏空，生理有生老病死，心理有生住异灭。而我们要怎么来调我们的身心，力行在菩萨道上呢？也就是上人说，我们用三理四象来说明生命大自然的法则，在变中呢，我们如何来展现不变的菩萨精神。在《佛说无常经》当中呢，就有讲到说，我们在大自然当中，或是在我们生命的法则当中，未曾有一事不被无常吞。也就是说，我们生命有生老病死，生者皆归死，容颜尽变衰，而大地呢，就是成住坏空，也有尽时。就像大家非常熟悉的1月7号的美国的林火，瞬间的无常带来很多人觉得苦空无常，而这个苦空无常呢，带给我们人类呢身心非常的痛苦。而像我们台湾呢，在7月5号的丹纳斯台风也造成了台湾南部很重的一个灾情，就像我们的风灾的农损啊，超过30亿元，现在还在恢复当中，这个都是一种四大不调的一个结果，所以我们现在也要非常的省思我们自己生活环境 的一个改变，像说饮食啊，好吃素啊，或者是大地环保、心灵环保，这个都是非常重要的一个环节。那进入37道品，我们知道说37道品呢，就是帮助我们修学的基础跟方法，有四念处、四正勤、四如意足等等。而四念处呢，最重要的就是要我们反观跟顾念。在念当中呢，就是能观的智慧，因为我们从内观、外观当中，我们就知道我们的有为跟无为都要非常的有智慧。而处呢，就是所观的一个处境，就是在这个环境当中，我们要怎么去做对的事情。而四念处呢，就是可以让我们立根跟顿根的人呢，都可以得到很多的一个启示。而反观跟顾念呢，观就是我们要常常的警惕自己，反观自己，我们的身心时时都要保持着正念。而顾念就是要顾好我们身心的一个看法。在四念处当中呢，有观身不净、观受是苦、观心无常、观法无我，这个是求得真理的一个四法，可以集中我们的心念，防止杂念。而四念处呢，我们要从自我观察、自我关照做起。我们如果可以时时观察自己，警惕自己呢，我们就可以解脱贪嗔痴慢疑等等执着的苦。所以观身不净，我们人生在世几十年，何必斤斤来计较？了解自我入经藏，天堂地狱在瞬间。九孔常流不净物，色身犹为在道气。身怀宝藏不相视，转污染为清净身。而这个观身不净呢，我们要来观察什么呢？观就是内观外境，也就是要从我们自己的身体观察做起。因为上人也有跟我们讲说，世间污秽莫过于身，因为世间最不干净、最丑陋、最肮脏的莫过于身。就像刚刚偈颂里面讲到的九孔常流不净物，就像我们像现在是夏天，经常都汗水淋漓，或者是说感冒的时候流鼻涕，或者是我们的大小便秘，或者是说我们有病痛的时候啊，甚至到老死的时候，都是最污秽的。因此呢，我们如果可以了解我们自己的身体，就会众善奉行；如果不了解自己的身体，就会造作诸恶。因此，我们要诸恶莫作，众善奉行。就像我们上人也是托命抽气，善用自己身的一个在道气，为天下众生来说法，为天下众生来付出。因此呢，我们如果可以看破我们的身体，就可以废物利用。若把自己的身体当成宝物啊，放在保险箱里面，都不去发挥自己的良能跟功能的话，再好的宝也没有办法发挥作用。因此呢，我们现在就来听一段上人对我们的开示。
说话很吃力，要听我说话的人也是呢，要很忍耐，看人舒服现在声音，也要认真来听哦。这叫做诚意尽心力。我现在虽然声音不好听，可是呢，我凭着这一份的诚意，抽命抽气来讲话，就是因为想到这么多的弟子贴心啊，珍惜舒服， 所以呢，我拼的命，我也一定要收。所以各位菩萨，爱的能量只有期待，要传在下一代。我无法求得呢，如释净言这个人，我只求呢，人人都要有释净言这一份的精神，这一份的看人。我能走过来，不管是心力体力，都是要看人过来。有的时候有形无形的压力，真的压得喘不过去，还要对自己说看人看人。因为呢，佛陀的话我还没有说完，因为呢，世间的苦难我还没有解开，但是呢，我知道这一辈子是解开不了，但是呢，我不能空过这一辈子的分秒时间。
这个就是我们上人就是分秒不空过，而且呢，就是已经快90岁了，可是还是天天托命抽气，在为众生说法。这个都是我们要非常珍惜的，这个也是上人利用自己生的一个载道气来为众生付出。而接下来是观受是苦，观受是苦呢，我们一定要亲身入苦去感受，用心来观受是苦，才能了解何谓苦。在1991年的华东水灾呢，当时呢，华东水灾非常的就是非常的严重。当时呢，上人就说，灾民一天没有穿上冬衣，所以那年的冬天，上人就坚持不穿卫生衣，苦灾民之苦。就是没有穿卫生衣，那就是要忍受，或者是说要感受跟灾民一样的苦。当时上人就呼吁大家一起来为大陆的灾民来盖房子。当时呢，罗美珠师姐呢是在花莲这边在当慈院志工，她听到上人的呼吁之后呢，她就打电话回去给她的师兄陈胜雄师兄，她说我们可以捐2间的大爱屋吗？当时1间是10万元。而陈胜雄师兄他听到说要为大陆的灾民来就是帮助他们，他就说跟罗美珠师姐说，你不能捐，你捐了之后就不要回来。他为什么会讲这样子的话呢？并不是他舍不得这20万元，而是在228事件的时候，他爸爸是受害者，当时他才小学3年级。在3年之后，他才知道爸爸被抓去关了，而且这个冤狱是15年。因此在他小小的心灵当中，他受到了非常大的一个创伤，所以他觉得这个是他不需要来帮助的。所以可是他觉得罗美珠师姐的心一定会捐的，不管他是不是反对。所以他为了釜底抽薪呢，他就打电话到金色来要反对认捐。因为当时荣师父，我们的三师兄荣师父是负责国际赈灾，当时也是他接到的电话，荣师父就跟他讲说，陈居士啊， 这几天师父都不吃不睡。陈胜雄师兄他就觉得非常的纳闷，为什么会不吃不睡呢？荣师傅就说，因为大陆那边淹水2个月了，还没有退，所以上人听到水声，或者是雨声，就会觉得全身湿哒哒的。这时候呢，陈胜雄师兄他就流下了忏悔的眼泪，因为他的慈悲心也受到了启发，所以他就放下了心结，除了捐大爱屋20万元，他还积极的一起来募款，到新厝就是大爱屋的启用典礼的时候，他也亲自到大陆来参加启用典礼。这个就是上人说的慈悲没有敌人。而观受是苦，我们知道如真师姐在1月7号的美国灵佛之后，她的家化为灰烬，她也是把悲伤化为助人的一个行动。这个也就是上人说，我们要利用身体来载道，行在菩萨道上。因为如真师姐她30年的访视的一个经验，她知道无常，也面对无常，更投入无常当中，当了别人的贵人。她自己先转念之后呢，去抚慰灾民。她投入无常之后，她当自己的贵人，把这样子的法回向给自己之后，她更是走出无常。所以说，我们就是要学习如真师姐的一个就是典范，因为她可以转念，我们也可以转念，就是把辅导个案的一个法来回向给自己，也辅导自己，抚慰了自己，就是把自己身体的一个在道，行在菩萨道上来抚慰苦难的众生。感恩大家。
Thank you so much, Master Dazal, for that very insightful sharing on the four excuse me, the fourfold of mindfulness, but also how we want to relate it to, the suffering, impermanence, and how there are things in life we can't um control, and there's a lot of suffering, but it's more of a reshifting of our mindset and learning that we should be fully aware of how our body, feelings, and mind and conditions are, but also recognize our own afflictions, but also see in a sense that, impermanence, suffering, and non-self are just also temporarily, and that we have to understand clearly that the reality is clear, but we have to make sure that we're using compassionate actions to respond to these sufferings. So we're going to move on to our smaller group discussions, and we have two sets of questions. So our respective small groups will have around 20 minutes to go over these questions, and then after 20 minutes we will share in the bigger room on these items for everyone. So the reflection, make sure to reflect on the following two discussion points and listen to one another with openness and respect. So the first question that we do have is on the basic concept of the fourfold mindfulness is to be aware of your mind, body, and the phenomena and the feelings. So are you mindful of your thoughts and actions in your daily life? Try to reflect on that, try to ponder. But on the second question as well, how can we regard our body as a vehicle for spiritual cultivation? Why is it necessary to personally experience suffering to truly comprehend it? So I know these questions might be very deep, but I feel like once we collectively work together, we'll find a deeper understanding to hence why. So we can break out to our smaller groups and reflect and contemplate. Think about the mindfulness, the reflection, the contemplation, awakening, and then compassionate action.
Hey everybody, are we going to the right breakout room? Just wondering.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you had very meaningful conversation that were also very enriching. So for our group, we really dug deeper onto the concept of, suffering and as well as how the fourfold mindfulness impacts our daily lives and how we perceive things in life. But let's give it out to the bigger group to share your findings. Does anyone want to start from either groups? Feel free to shout out your representative for one, two, or three. We should start with group one. Does anyone from group one want to share? What
Yes,
your
the two questions, the body as a vehicle, it's the only thing we have is the present, our minds, our willpower, our ability to absorb and to change. That's the only thing we have. Everything else is impermanent. It's the only way we can change the way we are going. There's in the law of physics, there's a law of motion. Our minds follow this law as well. We have a tendency to go in certain directions, to do certain things because of what happened in the past. So the only thing we can control is our minds. That's the only factor that is within our grasp. So that's why we should view ourselves and this moment as a vehicle. And being mindful, the first question, is critical to this because the opposite of being mindful is being emotional. And being emotional, which is fear, lust, hate, love, all the emotions cloud our judgment. It is only through rational thought, by understanding, that we can achieve enlightenment, that we can go on the path of understanding. The understanding is a means to enlightenment. If we are emotional because we are fearful or lustful or jealous of other people who have more than us, know more than us, have other abilities that are better than us, then we are constantly comparing and we are obsessed with ourselves. And that makes us unable to understand. That clouds the only tool we have to better the future. That's why the two questions are related. This mind is the only thing we have, and the present moment is the only thing we can use. The past comes upon us, crowds us forward, propels us into the future direction. So we have to be mindful, and we have to value this moment of being together and thinking together, because we all affect one another, and we all share a joint future together.
Thank you so much, Brother Austin from the second group. That was truly very insightful and touching. And I do agree, it's a big collective effort, but it all starts within us. Now we use our mind and body. Does anyone from group one or three want to share? Group one or three? Anyone from your group?
I nominate Brother Douglas to share.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Brother Douglas.
Hi, how are you? I'm sorry.
All is well. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you. Let's see. Um, we discussed some really important uh, aspects to this, and many of them were covered by Brother Austin. But I think that it's important to, and it's hard to work on, um, but trying to bring mindfulness out of your meditation area and put it out on the street where you work with Tzu Chi every day, and trying to remain mindful of your uh, of your body, your speech, and your mind while you're dealing with people whom you may not know or may not fully understand. And we shared, I shared about my experience working with um, the prisoners at the jail where we visit, Tzu Chi visits in Las Vegas. And one of the sisters said that we really have to be able to try to understand where these people are coming from. And that takes a great deal of mindfulness on your own self, of your own mind. And the this is something that's been so helpful to me in my Tzu Chi journey, is that I have tried to accept volunteer opportunities in places that are very, very difficult and very difficult for me to work in order to uh, help other people, but to also help myself better understand other people. And um, many people who we help, all of us, have the world has great prejudice against them. Homeless people, or people in jail, or any number of other people that you could imagine. They live with these prejudices, and uh, what I believe in the United States, almost a caste society, and these people are on the bottom and they can't get back up. And with mindfulness in my heart, I can break away from those prejudices, and I can um, open my heart with compassion to these other people. And it's a great blessing uh, to them. It's also a great blessing to me to be able to experience that. And so that's where I am. I think I'll stop. I've said it. Thank you.
thank you so much, Brother Douglas. And I truly agree that to what Dharma Master was saying and to what your point was, right? If in order for us to be mindful, we also have to learn to observe and reflect. And to what Dharma, the Tao was saying earlier, right? Mindfulness is also the wisdom of actually observing. There's a Chinese word called chu, which refers to the situation being observed. So in order for us to do these things, we also have to reflect and contemplate and see that, in order for us to feel what it's truly like, we also have to see what it looks and feels. Thank you so much, Brother Douglas. So anyone from group three? I mean, HQ3? Do you guys want to nominate anyone? Anyone from your group, Bessie? Shit. Bessie said,
Thank you, thank you. Laura 师姐，你要不要请看看我们哪一个组员出来分享好吗？感恩。
Is anyone wanna volunteer to talk from our group? Sunny, do you want to talk? You haven't get a chance to talk earlier.
Me? Are you talking
No,
about group 2?
Sunny Chow.
there's
Oh,
another
okay.
Sunny.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, can I speak Chinese? Because I didn't translate from Chinese to English. I can interpret the Chinese. So you can, I know.
Okay, maybe Sophia, you can translate later after she share. Is okay for you?
Yes, I'll try my best as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
OK，
Yeah，讲中文。
今天师父讲那个四念处哈，四念处就是感觉的是心哈和你现在的意意思和感受，也是你在平常生活中你观察自己的思想和行为哈。那个身受心法呢是一个很直接的修行。你这个身呢，就是现象的；受呢，就是你反应到哈，就是说你有事情反应到。你心呢，是一个态度表示出来。所以，假如你把这个身和受和心三样，你就说照亮了，就是你一个修行的方法嘛哈。假如说就说我们每个礼拜四都有在长青热河班那边有一位师姐，她以前她受伤了哈，她以为她也是不可以不可以再回来人间了，然后她看到我们志工很活泼的做，然后他一直流眼泪，很伤心，想以往他能够付出很多，所以也是这种你的身和心感受到。假如说我们有修行，就把这种修行哈，你apply， 就说接受在你本身里面，你不会有这样的事情发生哦，就说减少这个烦恼。我们修行就是减低你的烦恼，然后修你的习气哈，就这样，感恩。
Thank you, Sunny Teku.
Could I just add something? I just want
Yeah.
to
Oh, no worries.
compliment Brother Douglas about being able to persevere in his work in jails. It's probably one of the hardest things you can be involved in. And I've noticed the same sort of obstacle when we're dealing with the homeless. We ask ourselves, why are so many people indifferent to the suffering of people in jails and
Homeless.
that are homeless on the street? They lack the most basic necessities in life. How can we get on with enjoying our lives knowing that there are all these people that are suffering? And I think that a saying comes to mind that if you start a journey and the mistake is measured in microns or millimeters, you end up your journey with a difference in miles. So what is the mistake in microns in our concept? I think the most obvious one is reincarnation. This concept of reincarnation originated in India. It was used as justification for a racial class distinction in society. That original native inhabitants of India were conquered by successive waves of new people. I think the most important wave came from Central Asia because they had harnessed horses. And so to justify the unequal treatment of the original native population from the subsequent ruling population, they divided the society into classes and said, God determined this. Why? Because in your previous life, you committed evil. So you deserve to do these things that nobody else does now in this life. And we go in the same direction by saying these people that are homeless, that are in jail, that are handicapped, that are mentally defective, that have personality disorders, these people are where they are because of the crimes they committed in their previous life. So it has nothing to do with me. This is following the law of nature, of karma, of cause and effect over lifetimes. In this way, we suppress our compassion. Now, what Brother Douglas has done is with mindfulness, he has thought this through. And he realizes that this is not a valid reason, because we are who we are, not just through our personal conduct in this life, but through our joint conduct. If you believe in reincarnation, then there's also belief in genetics. So genetics is affected by environment in how we experience life. That goes from generation to generation. We are constantly affecting others and being affected by others. We and our environment are one. So karma is not just my karma, it's our karma. We jointly produce all the suffering in the world because of what we have all done together in the past. So there's no escape valve. There's no excuse here to say that this person is suffering now, he deserves it. No, we created the suffering together in the past. We created the condition which allows the environment to be polluted, which allows social disorder to happen, which allows economic inequality to occur because of our greed, our lust for power, our lust for material enjoyment. We jointly created this world, but these people, just like the fire victims in Altadena or parts of LA, they suffer. But we created the conditions. So there's no escape valve. We must have compassion for everyone who suffers. No excuse. So I congratulate Brother Douglas for having reached this conclusion, for having felt that this is no reason for suppressing your compassion. There is no justification for suppressing it. It is our duty and our obligation. We need to have compassion because this is the only way that we can go on the 37 paths to enlightenment. Compassion is a must. How we can jump out of our self-obsession.
Thank you so much, Brother Austin, for that wonderful insight and comment. And I believe, thank you so much, everyone, for your wonderful and heartwarming sharings. But I also just want to do a quick summary of what Sister Sunny Chow was saying, just conceptually, just for our English speaking volunteers, that, for the fourfold mindfulness, it's not just about the body and mind as separate. It's actually both ways, and it should be thought as collective from our mind to our body, because it shapes our intentions for our actions, awareness to do good despite the struggles. And the same thing with our body to our mind, actions reinforces our mental states. And by doing good, we kind of stabilize and purify our mind, but also our body. So wholesome thoughts, like wholesome actions, leads to clear mind and deeper compassion. And just like what she's saying, in Tzu, it's not just about observing body and mind separately as two objects or two entities or such, but it's actually the harmonizing of them together in every thought that we do that becomes a set of good actions, and every actions reflects a clear mind, especially to one event that she was referring to on Thursdays. But I think this is a good stopping point for us to reflect collectively that we're so diligent right now. We've gone through so many joyous efforts, and we've done with it through perseverance. But I also just want to remind as to what Dharma Master saying tells us every single day, the aim of doing us this study, practicing what we do right now, is to be mindful at all times in everything we do, so that we could cultivate more wisdom in ourselves, but also strengthening our ability to choose wholesome actions of both of for our body, our speech, and our mind, and slowly weakening the grips of, heedless, unwholesome responses in our life. And to just do a quick summary of everything we've learned, we've explored that through Master's teaching, and also to what Master Te Chao was saying about the fourfold mindfulness. Especially for body, we observe that the body is impermanent, and that any impure, the body isn't we have to make sure that we observe the body as impermanent and impure to reduce attachment. So from the body is impure, we have to see it in a sense that, the body is actually a tool for us for compassion, and that the body is a vehicle for doing good rather than an object of aversion. And an example to what our wonderful volunteers are saying, and to what Douglas has also said, that, we are volunteers. We encourage to use our bodies, not just for relief work, recycling, caregiving, but also in a sense of disaster response. This way, we're also attaining a sense of mindfulness towards our body. And to the second point of mindfulness of our feelings, we recognize that our feelings, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, in between, are actually sources of suffering as well when we clung to it or attached to it for too long. That we should also be aware of emotional reactions while also interacting with others, especially during difficult situations. To what Sister Flora was experienced throughout the wildfire. So as long as we're able to transform emotional responses into empathy and compassion despite our sufferings, we could have the feelings of these that lead to suffering be translated into feelings that could awaken compassion within us when we understand it. So example is turning other suffering into a sense of motivation for us to help furthermore the people in our community. And to the third concept of the mindfulness of the mind, we observe that the mind is constantly changing. We recognize that how quickly our thoughts can shift, especially between our sense of self-centeredness, but also our sense of altruism. So if we're able to cultivate a stable and kind intention, so 上念 in Chinese, we have to make sure we do that in every moment. So we are from observing a sense of impermanence in life, we translate it to a sense of, to actively stabilizing more wholesome thoughts in ourselves. So an example I could think of is, catching any judgmental thoughts that we have, any maybe thoughts behind our back ends that's telling us or stopping us from doing some things. But we have to replace them as well with a sense of understanding that there's more to it, not just the negativity of it, but also, maintaining a sense of sincerity and humility for all the things that we do, especially in Tzu for teamwork. And lastly, the mindfulness of those mental objects, those phenomena that we can't control. So we understand that all the phenomena are without a fixed self. So we see that there is a sense of interconnectedness as to what Brother Austin is saying, that there is a sense of interconnectedness for all beings, and there's always causes and conditions that brings to it. But as a general, we have to deepen our understanding that karma, and there's a sense of collective responsibility. There's a bigger picture to everything that happened, especially with the wildfires, the disasters that happened in China and Taiwan. But from this very philosophical and very bodhisattva way of insight, we also think that there's also a sense of ethical responsibility for us to promote and do more global compassion, that recognizing how personal consumption could actually affect the environment and our world. So I do want to share it since the aphorism. So in Chinese, it's called 事事多用心 and 事事多关心. So in English, it translates to being mindful at all times, show care in everything you do. So as we know, life is impermanent. We just have to remember that to be mindful at every moment. But since the world is also full of suffering, we should also remember to do and care in everything we do. So have that sense of inner cultivation, that sense of wisdom, and return it with outer expression in senses of compassion. I know that for this book, it's easier for others to understand because they have the personal experience, but it's also very challenging for others for the first time. But I hope you guys were able to get another sense introduction to what is the depth of this wisdom and the book itself, and that we're all here learning collectively, and that may the insights that you guys learned today help you to cultivate more mindfulness, kindness, and clarity in our daily lives, and also encourage more people to walk this path that we're walking all together. So before we end our session, we do have some reminders. I'll open the floor to questions and reflections. So feel free to raise your hand or type any question in your chat. And I'll call up Brother Ihua before we conclude today's study for any reminders from our regional coordinator.
Thank you so much, Sister Sophia, for such a wonderful conclusion and emceeing for today's study group session. We have you summarized the all the concepts that we have covered today uh in such a good conclusion and good bullet points that we are all interconnected, and everything that we do we impact each other even though we may not be realized about it. Yeah, that's very true. So for next session, let me share my screen for the schedule first, because it's very important that you know about the schedule. I will replace current share. Okay, so next session is our national session. It's on April 27. And then we still need a facilitator and note taker from group one and group two. And this time group three, you were very fast, very effective, and you guys have already found your facilitator and group note taker. So attendees from group one and group two, please make sure that you guys have facilitator and note taker. And also thank you everyone, our brother Liao, who are becoming our AV for today, and also Sister Hoa, facilitator for Group One, and Sister Karen, note taker for Group One, Sister Sunny, facilitator for Group Two, Brother Willie, note taker for Group Two, and Sister Laura, facilitator for Group Three, and Sister Shirley, note taker for Group Three. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and please for note taker, just please send me whatever notes that guys have taken today. And then you guys, it can be a Word document or a PDF or even a picture if you are doing a handwritten notes, and just email it to me. And then next two weeks later, is on the 27th is of the time for our region to do a 10-minute presentation. And so last 2 weeks ago, we agreed that we are going to have two presenters instead of just Brother Austin. So so who would like to present for to our national session to all the for the whole USA and Canada and beside Brother Austin so that we it's not just one person representing the HQ region. Anyone wants to volunteer or who wants to nominate? Nobody? How about you, Brother Douglas? Do you want to share to the national session next week, 2 weeks later?
Um, yes, I will gladly. But is what am I going to be sharing on what we're
You can share
learning?
about what you have learned today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put something together. You say 10 minutes? I'm sorry,
5 minutes because two
5 minutes.
presenters mean each of the speaker gets 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll be glad to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Douglas. So for our HQ regional sharing, we will have Brother Austin. You will start by sharing 5 minutes and then followed by Brother Douglas, who will share another 5 minutes. So it will just share about anything you guys learned during today's session or last 2 weeks ago sessions. Yeah, it can be from any of the things that you guys have learned through the board master's teachings and also from through the discussions that we have. So just representing us. Yeah, because this HQ region is the first region that is going to do the sharing to the whole USA and Canada. Yeah. And yeah, so is there any question for me?
I have
Anybody
a
has question?
question. I have a
Yes.
question. Are you going to send us the link to the national session, right?
The national session you have to go. I I will send you the link to register.
Okay.
Basically, it's the same Zoom link for every single national session. So on the first national session on the March 23rd, the same Zoom link that you joined the Zoom on March 23rd is the Zoom link that you would use to join every single national session.
Okay.
So you will use the same Zoom link for the national session on April 27. So it's
Okay.
not today's Zoom link, it's the Zoom link that you used to join the Zoom on March 23rd, the national session. So every single national session has the same Zoom link, but it's unique for every person. So you will go to the form, there's a Zoom link that is like a form. You fill out the form and then you will get a Zoom sent to your email address, and then you use the same Zoom link for every single national session. For regional
Okay.
session, we just use today's Zoom. It's the same Zoom for regional session. So regional session is easier because it's as a specific meeting ID and password. And but for national is a little bit complicated. Every person has a unique Zoom link. If you lost that email, you lost that Zoom link, then you just register again. You can register every month if you want. If you cannot keep an email, yeah.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
okay, any other question? Yeah, so for the facilitator and note taker, if you anyone can volunteer, please volunteer. Just go to that Google Sheet that I share screen just now to fill out your name. You can fill out for any session in the future. If not, then I'll have to ask the facilitator to look for the next facilitator and the note taker. So yeah, so that someone from that group will find the next facilitator and the note taker. Yeah. And then for the recording, the one on March 30th, because we forgot to record, that's why there's no recording for that day. But starting from today, we'll record every single uh regional session, so it will be emailed to you once it's uploaded to YouTube after this session is ends. And then for the national one, they will upload it like a week after the Zoom ends. Yeah, it will take longer for national session, but for the regional session, usually it's like on the same night you will get the Zoom link. Then and also there also be a feedback form. So later you will see the link. And then please fill up the feedback form. I will send it in that email as well. And yeah, so thank you so much for everyone for your participation. And so I'll give the time back to Sister Sophia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. You all for the message. I mean, for the reminders. So, as we all know, learning is a journey. So, we walk together, listening, reflecting, and supporting one another. So, let us now take this time to appreciate the teachings and insights that's been shared today, and that we're truly grateful for all the Dharma Master's guidance. And now, let us do the dedication of merit. So, please keep your mic on mute, and then you can read and follow after me. So I vow to eradicate all afflictions arising from the three obstructions. I vow to obtain wisdom and gain true realizations. May everyone eliminate all karmic obstructions and life after life always practice the Bodhisattva way. So to conclude, let us all express our gratitude for the day's learnings. So if you guys can, please stand up and put your palms together, and let us make 3 vows of gratitude to the great enlightened one of the universe, who embodies the innate teacher within every one of us. First vow, second vow, and third vow. And let us also make one more bow to each other in gratitude to be able to learn from each other today. Thank you, everyone. 感恩. Let us all bow to all our teachers and our family on this path together. Thank you. Please
Thank
be
you,
seated.
Sophia. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
And before we head out, I want to take a moment to
Okay.
acknowledge our AV Bodhisattva, Brother Liao, who for ensuring that our slides, audio, and videos are working seamlessly and we can gather in our designated breakout rooms. Thank you as well for our wonderful TC family for spending the afternoon with us today. If you're able, please turn on your camera so we could wave at each other before we head out, and to have a wonderful rest of your week and healthy week ahead. And we'll see you next time. Please scan the QR code to continue for us to improve. Feedback is really appreciated and essential
Thank
to our
you.
growth.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you all. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Good night.